Hello, and thanks for watching WMCM's Week in Review. I'm Hannah Betcher.
And I'm Peter Lenz. On Thursday, March 30th, L Vargas came to speak to UW La Crosse students about his upbringing and how it influences their work. Vargas specializes in mixed media, artwork that utilizes more than one artistic medium. Vargas combines traditional visual art media with work that results in something similar to a collage. Izel's lecture focused on how his experiences at a young age influenced his artwork today. Growing up on the border between Mexico and America gave Vargas a unique sense of binationalism that really shines through in his work. Things like teeth, border patrol officers, and Renaissance paintings are all tools that Izel uses to create his art. Izel came to campus as a part of the Visiting Artist series of lectures put on by the Department of Art. Be sure to catch the next visiting artist, watercolor painter Helen Klebzadel, on April 20th and 21st.
Everyone, the time has come upon us again. The second most stressful time of the semester. That's right, registration. Students across campus are frantically plugging classes into their schedule planners and weighing out the odds of getting into that one class that has only one section with 15 seats that they need to graduate, while simultaneously figuring out a way to have no Friday classes or 745s. Summer registration is already happening, while registration for fall officially opens on April 10th, so make sure you check your Wings account to find your own registration date and time. Be sure to schedule a meeting with your advisor if you haven't already, and make sure there are no holds on your account so there is nothing stopping you from clicking that enroll button like your life depends on it. The second registration opens for you.
Well, if you are a college student and do not have an internship yet set up for the summer, you better have attended Career Services Internship Information Session on Wednesday, April 5th. Career Services Internship Program Coordinator Karen Durnan held the information session to provide students with information on internships, an outline of the process of getting one, and a chance to answer any questions students might have. Durnan had this to say about the importance of internships for students. Internships are a great way for students to learn about career options in their field of study and give students a chance to obtain valuable work experience that could make them a stronger candidate for employment after graduation. Do not worry if you missed this informational session. Career Services regularly posts many internship offerings on the Eagle Opportunities job board, and Career Services advisors can also assist students in obtaining an internship. For more information on internships, contact Karen Durnan at kdurnan@uwlax.edu or contact Career Services at career@uwlax.edu. Well now, the new UWL Student Union is known for being a very environmentally friendly building. We sent out WMCM's crews to see what makes it so green.
Today, UWL received news that the new student union is LEED Gold certified. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. WMCM caught up with Doug Pearson, the Executive Director of Facilities Planning and Management, to understand what this certification means for UW La Crosse.
LEED is a certification that the United States Green Building Council developed as a set of building performance standards to improve environmental performance of the building as well as reduce the environmental impact in terms of construction materials. So the total process is a 4-year process from beginning the design, hiring an architect. It takes about 2 years, and then 2 years of construction. So all the lights in the building are LEDs, light emitting diode lights, which are extremely energy efficient. As you walk up to the building on the outside, you'll see some depressed areas that are stormwater management ponds. Those help the rainwater off the roof and on the hard surfaces around it naturally absorb into the soil around. It takes advantage of daylighting. You'll notice the big windows behind us. That helps bring daylight in and reduces the amount of unnatural light that we have to use electricity for.
We also asked Doug if the university plans to keep sustainability a priority in future campus development.
Yes, we will take advantage of the LEED process. We think it's good for the campus. It reduces operating costs. It just varies by project on what the state will authorize to pay for the LEED certification.
For WMCM, this has been Pauline Brown, Johnny Marthaler, and Ben Stogbauer. Back to you.
Now here's Stephanie Haw to talk about some events happening around campus.
Thanks, Hannah. Are you interested in learning about bees and beekeeping? Well, you are in luck. Tomorrow, April 7th, Ken Baltz will be in La Crosse to give a presentation on beekeeping. The presentation will include information about the life cycle of honeybees, as well as provide trivia games. You can also learn about the many uses of beeswax and pollen. The event will take place at the Myrick Park Center from 10 a.m. till noon. The cost is $15 for life in retirement members and $25 for non-members. For more information, contact the Continuing Ed office at conted@uwlax.edu. Tomorrow marks the end of Social Justice Week here on the UWL campus. To honor Social Justice Week, a closing reception and panel will be held. The director of the Institute for Social Justice will discuss objectives and programming from this year and for next year. All are welcome to attend. If you are interested in attending the Social Justice Reception, it will be held tomorrow, April 7th, starting at noon in room 3310 in the Student Union. And finally, you have the opportunity to canoe the Root River. UWL's Outdoor Connection is hosting an overnight canoeing event. The canoe trip will cover 25 miles of the Root River in Minnesota and will last for 2 days. You will explore the sights of spring, such as forest, railroad bridges, and riverside towns. The trip kicks off April 8th. If you are interested, contact Kyle Harding at harding.kyle@uwlax.edu. Now, back to you, Hannah.
Thanks, Steph. UWL's TEDx Salon series continued this week with Kate Parker on a discussion of the impact of rape culture. At every TEDx UWL Salon series event, attendees can expect to listen to a featured speaker and have a lively discussion about the talks they have witnessed. Students have the opportunity to participate in each event and shape the conversation. The latest installment of the series took place yesterday, featuring Dr. Kate Parker presenting on rape culture, feminism, and the limits of representation. Prior events focused on societal turning points of technology and digital storytelling. The presentation that took place yesterday was the final presentation in this year's series, but if you missed it, never fear, the series will be back again next semester. The Cooley Region Humane Society has many pets in need of loving homes. Here's some of the animals available in this week's edition of Perfect Pets.
Hi, I'm Luther. I'm 3 years old, and I will follow your hand wherever it is to get all these scratches. Oh, that feels great.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm a 5-year-old Australian Shepherd Lab mix, and there's nothing I love more than playing fetch. Crikey!
Hello, my name's Lupine. I'm 2 years old, and I love to play with all sorts of toys and getting lots of cuddles. Oh yeah, right there.
Hey guys, I'm Nico. I'm a 7-year-old energetic husky and I love to run, but I also love belly rubs. Oh yeah.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
One more time for you pet lovers out there, that number was 781-4014. So now, do you ever feel like you were meant to live the life of a sailor? Ever feel sick of being a land lover and just want to finally start working on those sea legs you've wanted for so long? Well, students, you are in luck because this Friday, April 7th, marks the 2017 UWL Rec Sports Battleship Tournament. Don't let the name trick you into thinking this is all fun and games, because this Battleship Tournament is a test of lacrosse's champions. 4-person teams use buckets and other tools to attack other canoes with water until the competing team's canoe is sunk and or they tip over. Now, there are many different rounds that all lead up to the final championship with a year of bragging rights at stake. For more information, contact Austin Sanderson at asanderson@uwlax.edu. This week, we sent a WMCM crew to hear from author and director Lee Mun-Wah to kick off Social Justice Week.
This Monday kicked off the beginning of Social Justice Week at UWL. To start the events off for the week, internationally renowned Lee Mun-Wah joined our campus for an interactive seminar that led students on discussions of diversity. Throughout, he also had exercises that challenged people to step out of their comfort zone and to think about other people's perspectives.
Over 2,000 hate crimes have taken place since this presidency. And there have been incidences even on Southwest Airlines where a Muslim young woman had her hijab pulled right off her head.
Part of the night was dedicated to a large group activity. Students had to find someone they did not know and have informative diversity talks. In the pairs, they told each other their names, ethnicity, how it felt to be chosen, and why did you choose them. Lee Manoir also encouraged them to really get to know who they were talking to.
How many of you told the truth? Right. Okay, here we go.
Part of the seminar also featured the 2010 documentary film, If These Halls Could Talk. Directed by Lee Manoir, he gathers 11 college students from across the country. The students share stories about their frustrations in trying to be understood and acknowledged on campus where faculty and students are predominantly white. You could find more events and speakers by searching Social Justice Week 2017 at UWL's webpage.
This has been Josh Hubach, Justin Rumberg, and Stephanie Murtos. Back to you guys in the studio.
Hip-hop feminism and activism is coming up next week Tuesday at 6 p.m. in Centennial Hall, room 1309, presented by Dr. Lindsay Treva. Dr. Treva specializes in Black feminism, theory, women's history, and popular culture. She is also the recipient of several awards and fellowships from the Woodrow Wilson Foundation, the Social Science Research Council, and several more. Her first book, entitled Colored No More, Reinventing Black Womanhood in Washington, D.C., will be available on April 15th. She will be giving a presentation highlighting topics that she has included in her book, particularly on African American women's spaces and the multifaceted history of struggle toward equality. Again, the event will take place Tuesday, April 11th at 6 p.m. in 1309 Centennial Hall, so be sure to mark it in your calendars. It's sure to be an event that you will not want to miss. Each week, the WMCM crew goes out and talks to your fellow peers in a segment we like to call Campus Insight. This week, they ask students about their favorite April Fool's pranks.
This week on Campus Insight, we ask students about their April Fool's Day.
I played an April Fool's Day joke on my roommate. The night of April Fool's Day, I woke up at 2 a.m. and she stays up late, so she was in the bunk below me. And I really, really softly started singing Ring Around the Rosie, and she flipped out.
Okay, so this April Fool's, one of my friends ended up waking up with a for sale sign on her car with a for sale for $500, and she doesn't know who did it.
My friend had an April Fool's prank that she pulled on her friend, and she took paper clippings from a hole punch and put them in the air vents of his car.
So this year, I texted my mom that I was pregnant, and she called me a couple minutes later and just was like, "What? I can't believe you would text me that information. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Just kidding. Happy April Fool's Day."
Covering onions with caramel and saying that they're caramel apples.
I went on her computer and changed it so that whenever she typed her name, I would put "Happy April Fool's Day, Mom," smiley face. And it hasn't changed for 5 years.
Friend of mine and her boyfriend of about 5 years had announced an engagement on Facebook, and I was like, oh my god, this is so legit because they've been dating forever. It wasn't legit.
For Campus Insight, this has been Dee Reed and Mark Buchholz.
Make sure you're looking out for the WMCM crew on campus to have a chance to have your opinions heard on the next week's Campus Insight. Hey, now it's time for Andrew Klon with a review of the movie Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Some of the best stories in the Star Wars universe are only hinted at. They leave you wondering, how did that happen? Before the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney in 2012, these intriguing expansions on the Star Wars universe were relegated to other media. Since then, however, Disney has created an outline for an anthology of spin-offs. This began in December 2016 with Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Set in the time immediately preceding Episode 4, A New Hope, Rogue One illuminates the story of how the Rebellion stole the plans to the first Death Star. Let's take a look at the debut trailer.
The world is coming undone. Imperial flags reign across the galaxy.
Can you be trusted without your shackles?
Let's just get this over with, shall we?
We've a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know how to destroy it.
If you're really doing this, I want to help.
Good.
Good. I've been recruiting for the rebellion for a long time.
We destroyed our home. I fight the Empire now.
I fear nothing. All is as the Force wills it.
The captain says you are a friend. I will not kill you.
Thanks. There isn't much time. Every day they grow stronger.
There is a 97.6% chance of failure. He means well.
This is our chance to make a real difference. Are you with me?
All the way.
As you can see, the trailer features many familiar sights, but also introduces a variety of interesting characters and concepts. I love the way this film doesn't really try to be anything other than what it is. It's a specific story on a specific chain of events. There are small explanations of the pasts of certain characters, but everything is very contained. And I also applaud the diverse casting. There are really a lot of good actors in these roles, and the creation of droids, ships, and the various planets is top-notch. This film may not be as compelling or well-formed as Episode 7, The Force Awakens, but it is a quality installment in this ever-expanding film universe, and I recommend it. Stay tuned to WMCM. David Gasper will be back with this weekend's weather.
All right, now let's take a look at this weekend's weather. Tonight it'll be about 31 degrees with winds out of the north-northwest at 14 miles an hour. Fairly clear looking into tomorrow. It's going to be warming up a bit, sunny with winds at 8 miles per hour coming from the west. 61 degrees, it's looking beautiful. And then heading into Saturday, even better, 71 degrees. You can take a bluff hike, go to Pettibone Beach. It's a beautiful day to be outside. Winds coming out of the south. And then Sunday, even warmer, 73 degrees. A little bit cloudy skies, but still a beautiful day. Now let's head over to Nate with this week's interview.
Thanks, David. My name's Nate Weggehout, and I'm joined today by Shay McReynolds, a promoter of River City Championship Wrestling. Shay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about River City Championship Wrestling.
Well, River City Championship Wrestling is a professional wrestling group. We perform acts just like WWE on TV, except for we have a little more talking, less talking than they do. So we have actually wrestling, and all of our guys are professionally trained. They come from all over. The farthest we have is one guy coming all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. And he comes all the way up here just to wrestle for us.
Wow. How long have you guys been here in La Crosse?
River City Championship Wrestling has been around for the last 3 years. Yeah. We have been running steadily at La Crosse American Legion Post 52 over there on 6th and Market. It's usually run the first Friday of the month, 8 months a year.
All right, so you run 8 shows a year,
yes,
essentially. All right, so why La Crosse specifically?
Hometown. This is where I'm from. This is where my business partner's from. We love wrestling, and we decided we want to bring it to La Crosse because there was nothing in this town.
So you said you have a lot of talent coming from outside of La Crosse. About how much would you say comes from within the area here?
We have a few local guys that work in the area here. I think there may be 2 to 3 guys, but otherwise they usually come from the Eau Claire area, the cities, Chicago, Milwaukee, and like I said, St. Louis was the farthest.
Okay, great. So you guys actually have an event coming up here in a few weeks, Cinco de Mayo Mayhem, correct?
Yep, on May 5th at the La Crosse American Legion Post 52. We have our show coming up at Cinco de Mayo Mayhem. It's going to be a lot of fun. Apparently there's a celebration that's going to happen. I don't really know exactly what, but I'm a little worried about it because when these guys say they're doing something like that, it kind of scares me.
So tell us a little bit about the card. We have a handful of championship matches on the card here. We have Kyle Roberts versus Jarrett Jacks for the heavyweight championship.
Yep, Kyle Roberts is a local boy who actually moved to St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
He's the one that lives in St. Louis. He comes all the way back up here to wrestle. He went down there to get trained professionally. He's actually been on WWE Monday Night Raw live.
Oh, wow.
He's going to be facing Jarrett Jacks, who is our heavyweight champion, who's had that belt for quite a while now, and we're hoping he can take it off him, but it's all up to the card. You know, it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. And then you also will be having Cal Creed versus Maru for the La Crosse Championship, and that's going to be a submission match, correct?
Yes. Cal Creed won the chance last show to get his shot at the championship for Maru, who just recently got this championship. It is the City La Crosse Championship belt, custom-made belt that we've done. It has basically this logo, in a sense, with the Bridgescape.
All right, great. And so that's not the only event that you guys have here. You just recently announced that you guys will be at Riverfest this year.
Correct. We're going to do Riverfest this year. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon show right at the North Stage. You will have to have a button to attend, but that's about all it. Just need a button.
All right, and you said that this is the first time that you guys have been.
Correct. This is going to be our first time at Riverfest, so we're hoping to have something big.
All right, great. So what sort of advice would you have for someone who's trying to break into the industry today?
You want to be a professional wrestler, you got to go get professionally trained. There are a bunch of training camps in the area. The Minneapolis is probably the closest one there is. I honestly don't know the top of the name off the top of my head, but that's the closest training camp you can find. Is you got to go there, be trained. We won't let you in a ring unless you are.
So that's for being a wrestler. Say you wanted to be someone else. Say you wanted to become a referee or something else. How would you want to?
Referee, we could always look at, we can train referees ourselves. If you want to become a referee, you can contact us directly on Facebook. Just like you guys did to get a hold of us. Messages on Facebook, we respond really fast.
So how long have you been within the wrestling industry here?
I've been involved in wrestling for the last 15 years. Started off as a referee myself, worked my way up the ladder to become an owner of a company.
Oh, wow, so really started from the bottom and work your way up to the top.
Absolutely, paid your dues.
Great. So how would you say the industry as a whole has changed, at least from your perspective here?
Age group is definitely the biggest thing. It's more kid-oriented. We make sure we are family-oriented with no profanity, no blood, and anything like that. We want to make sure kids like our show and they come back and their parents aren't mad that we made them scared to go to sleep at night. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you very much for coming out here today, Shay. Yeah, thank you very much. Stay tuned. Andrew Klon will be right back with this week's sports. But first, let's take another look at those adorable animals in need of loving homes on this week's edition of Perfect Pets.
Hi, I'm Luther. I'm 3 years old, and I will follow your hand wherever it is to get all these scratches. Oh, that feels great.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm a 5-year-old Australian Shepherd Lab mix, and there's nothing I love more than playing fetch. Crikey!
Hello, my name's Lupine. I'm 2 years old, and I love to play with all sorts of toys and getting lots of cuddles. Oh yeah, right there.
Hey guys, I'm Nico. I'm a 7-year-old energetic husky, and I love to run, but I also love belly rubs. Oh yeah.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Again, the number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. Welcome to sports. I'm Andrew Klon. It's been a busy week of sports away from home for UWL teams and athletes. Let's start with gymnastics. The NCGA championships were held at UW Stout last weekend, and UWL sought their third consecutive title. Both the team and all-round competitions were held Friday. Samantha Weekamp led the team, placing 8th in the all-round with a score of 37.1. Her scores, along with those of her teammates, were good enough only for second place in the team competition, however. UW Whitewater followed up their WEAC championship with a nationals victory led by all-round champion Lisa O'Donnell. Friday's results earned 8 UWL athletes the right to compete in Saturday's individual championships. The night turned out to be a successful one for UWL, with 5 ladies earning All-American honors. Carrie Willett had a big night, winning a shared first place in beam and a shared third in vault. She also earned a share of 12th in the floor exercise. Elsa Spitzmuller took third in the same discipline. Abby Ostrovsky, Lauren Wilson, and Amy Enright all earned great results in the uneven parallel bars, placing 3rd, 6th, and 7th, respectively. Congratulations to all the UWL gymnasts on a great season. UWL baseball also competed last weekend. The Eagles traveled to Duluth on Sunday to play a doubleheader against the College of St. Scholastica. Unfortunately, UWL dropped both games. The Eagles lost a 12-inning heartbreaker to 6-5. To begin the day, they also lost the second game by a score of 10-7. The Eagles' record now stands at 10-5. They opened the conference season this weekend with a pair of doubleheaders at UW Whitewater beginning on Saturday. It's been a very busy week for UWL softball. Last Thursday, the team traveled to St. Paul for a doubleheader against the University of St. Thomas. They dropped both games by a score of 3-0 and 4-3. The pain didn't end there, however. The Eagles opened their WEAC season on Saturday with a pair of games against Whitewater. Unfortunately, they were swept again, losing 2-0 and 4-3. However, Sunday was a better day for the UWL. The team dominated UW-Platteville, winning both games in 5 innings by scores of 17-4 and 10-0. Their week wasn't over, though. Yesterday, the Eagles traveled to Decorah to play a doubleheader against Luther College. Fortune did not favor them. However, as they lost Game 1 8-0 in 5 innings, they also lost Game 2 11-3 in 6 innings. The Eagles are now 18-10 on the season. They get a much-deserved rest this weekend with their next game coming next Friday at home against Oshkosh. Tennis was also in action this past weekend. The UWL men played in Madison against Edgewood College, winning convincingly 8-1. The event victory brings their record up to 13-5. They continue their season this weekend on the road. They'll be at the University of Dubuque on Saturday afternoon, followed by a visit to Augustana College in Rock Island, Illinois on Sunday. The women had a much busier weekend. On Saturday morning, the women's team was in Rock Island to take on Augustana. They ended up losing 7-2, but they recovered in the afternoon against Coe College, winning 7-2. They too then traveled to Madison to face Edgewood, and they matched the men's victory margin, also winning 8-1. The weekend's results bring their record to 19-3. They have the next couple weeks off. This weekend marks the beginning of the UWL men's and women's track and field outdoor seasons. The Ashton May Invitational begins Saturday morning at 11. Competing schools include UWL, Eau Claire, Platteville, River Falls, Stevens Point, Stout, Augustana, Carleton, Crown College, St. Mary's, St. Olaf, St. Scholastica, Minnesota, Duluth, and Wartburg. A lot of schools. Good luck to them and all athletes on a great season. Finally, the UWL football schedule was released this weekend. The Eagles will play 10 games, opening at home on September 2nd against Luther College. Notable games include the WEAC opener at UWSP, Family Weekend against Eau Claire, Homecoming against Oshkosh, and Senior Day against Stout. UWL hopes to improve upon an up-and-down 2016 season that saw them finish 5-5 after a 5-0 start. And that's all for this week's sports.
Well, guys, that's all that we have for you for WMCM. Thank you so much for watching this week. Why don't you stop back next week at 4:30 on Campus Channel 200 and Digital Cable Channel 989. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back next week.